Welcome back to the Catnip Podcast. My name is Grace and today is Monday, December 16th. This is a podcast about knitting, books, baking, and cats, but most importantly knitting because that is what I love to do all day, every day, whenever I get the time, whenever, pretty much. If you like to follow me on any of my social medias, I have Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and Ravelry. I'm most active on Instagram, so please go follow me over on there if you would like. All the things that I will be talking about today hopefully will be in the show notes, which is on my blog. So if you are on YouTube, the link to my blog will be down below, or if you're on my blog, everything is already there. In addition to that, I work at a yarn store. It's called The Modern Skein in Montgomery, Texas. I will leave all the website information, social media, all that jazz in the show notes. So if you want to check us out either online or in person, you can go find out all that information there. I have a lot of knitting to show you. It's also not relevant, but it's very cold. It is incredibly cold, and we'll talk about that in just a moment because we have changed this to a weather podcast. It is actually very cold for us anyway. But that is not for the intro. Like I said, I have a lot of knitting to show you. Don't think I have any books. We have some baking to discuss, and then just like the podcast schedule for the rest of the holidays and for the rest of the year. So, without further ado, if you like to go grab something tasty to drink or snack upon, or something to craft upon, an animal to snuggle, laundry to fold, some blankets to snuggle up in because it's cold, or whatever, or not, because it may be hot where you are, I don't know. And you can come back and join me for some crafty chat. Oh man, I made a good cup of tea. So, I do have a list right there. And I have forgotten to bring in some of these items, but I'm not going to talk about them right away. I do also have a very fun yarn acquisitions that happened over the weekend because at the store there was a very fun event. Tristan of Hoard Yarns came to the shop, which was so incredible. Having been a fan of her yarns for a long time and then like getting to test knit for her. I test knit her Moondrip Swancho and her Stardust pullover earlier this year, and then to actually meet her in person, and also we're doing her advent calendar that she's doing with her mom, so that was super cool. But I got some yarn, and that is very exciting, and I want to show that to you because I just want to share the joy of Tristan, who is Hoard Yarns. I also have advent calendar progress, one more so than the other. But that's okay because, you know, life happens. I've also, like, worked on other... Sorry, I realized I was not looking at the camera for the entirety that I said that, and that was very rude of me. I do apologize. Just looking at my pile of knitting that's sitting on a box because this corner of the room is very messy. But you can't see that. So it looks like it's neat and tidy, but it's actually really not. Fun fact. But anyway, point is, I'm sorry for not looking at you. You, the viewer, who we're hanging out right now. We're chatting about our knitting works in progress. So yes, I do have an advent calendar progress. I've been working on some other projects as well. I also have a super fun, project bag that was gifted to me. Just knocked everything over. I do apologize. I'm clearly very organized today. And yeah. I feel like the knitting is not super exciting. I also feel like I'm forgetting something. Like I worked on something and I'm sorry, I'm doing it again. I worked on something besides these items, and I've forgotten what it was. Oh well, I'll probably remember it tomorrow when I'm editing. but first off, let's talk about the weather because that's really important. So everybody, last week I mentioned that everybody's sinuses are really just having a hard time because we go from like being high of 80s to high of 53, like today. And the in-between can really wreak havoc on your sinuses. Like this morning, my nose was just so terrible. It's really rough. I'm sure you're really wanting to know about that. The state of my nose and being able to breathe through my nose, of course. We're all very interested in that. But there was a cold front coming, and clearly it is here, but it came much sooner than I think we all thought, and so I walked into the gym this morning and it was about 76 degrees and very humid and raining. And when I came out, it was like 61 and very, very, very cold and very, very, very windy with a northerly wind and still raining, and it was very shocking. In a nice way though, because I was hoping for the cold weather. I knew that it was coming. I had taken preemptive measures with my nose and my sinuses because I knew it would be an issue. Apologize for talking so much about my sinuses. That really doesn't matter. And also kind of gross, so let's change the subject, shall we? So yeah, it's cold now. It's very cold. In fact, I turned on the heater, about 10 minutes ago because my hands are very cold and they need to be warmed up, and that is just gotta turn on the heater. We do have a very low tonight, which is very exciting. I believe the low is 35, which is very cold. It is close to freezing, and yes, so that is fun. Makes our flannel sheets really wonderful. So yes, we're drinking all the hot drinks today. Just staying warm, bundled up. Clearly I'm bundled up. And once I'm done with this and the rest of my to-do list that includes the laundry, because my Mondays never not include laundry unless it's a weird, strange occasion. Once all that stuff is done, I will be snuggled up somewhere with the cat, knitting and doing something like reading or something like that. I don't know. I'll figure that out when I get there. But that is in my future today, which I'm very excited about. So yes, it's not going to last long though. Currently, the forecast for Christmas is 75. Fun times. We love these weather changes so dearly. It's the best. No, it's not. It's kind of the worst. But this is not a weather podcast. I say this many a time. Let's talk about this one first. And yes, nobody, this is not the point of the podcast. If I wanted to talk about weather, I would start a weather podcast, but I haven't, so this is a knitting podcast. The weather does interest me. So, everybody, let's now talk about knitting, shall we? I do apologize. So I have been, my goal of 2019 that happened late in the year, it just kind of magically happened because I was doing so many test knits, which, yes. Yeah, so I ended up knitting a lot of sweaters in 2019, and I've knit 19 sweaters in 2019 to be precise, and I have many sweaters that are like maybe 5 hours of work short of being done. So I want to get at least one of them done because I would just like to, not because I want to make 20 sweaters, though that would be cool. That's not that's not my goal. My goal is just to get things done. Because I want to wear them, because I'm running out of time where it's going to be actually cold enough to wear these items, or some of these items anyway. And so I've been working a lot on my rug sweater. Oh my goodness, can we believe how beautiful that is? I know I knit this, but like, this is beautiful. Oh. So yes, this is the rug sweater by Yunko Okamoto, I believe, which is a free pattern on Ravelry. You knit it out of Aran weight. I am using Cascade 220 Cascade Eco Wool and Cascade 220, which I realize Cascade 220 is not an Aran weight, but I'm making it work because it was in my stash, and you make things work when you're using your stash. I was very hopeful I would get at least the body done before having to wind up the second skein of this Cascade Eco Wool, but I knit until I ran out of yarn and could knit no more. So I did finish the color work, and everyone. So side note, I have said multiple times about this particular sweater, and pretty much whenever I'm doing colorworks, I do not like long floats at all. Like, they are the bane of my colorwork existence, and it's very unfortunate that that is a big part of colorwork. But if you have no idea what I'm talking about, you're like, what the poop is a float and what is colorwork? And I don't know. All I know is that you knit. One, thank you for watching the podcast. I appreciate it. And two, colorwork is where, this is colorwork. This is where you have a pattern knit into your item, whether it be a sweater or a hat or something like that. And then your floats are these little guys on the inside. And so your yarn is floating along from stitch to stitch. And we can see that we sometimes have shorter ones down here and very long ones that are up here. I really don't like these long ones up here. I think they are the worst. Because if you have a certain amount of stitches that is like in between the pattern, so for example, like these little plus signs, there were a good amount of stitches between like the first top stitch and the bottom stitch of that makes that plus. You have to twist your yarns in between at some point so it catches it along and it doesn't create a super long float, because that can catch on everything, and it just makes for a cleaner, smoother inside. And it also helps protect your color work that you've done. I don't like that. I mean, I know it's important and I know that you need to do it, but I really don't like doing it because it's a pain and it takes a long time. When Tristan was at the store, she told us that you can pick up your floats from the row below, so you don't have to worry about it. And off the top of my head, I can't remember how she did it, but I know there's video footage of it somewhere that I can find, because like, that is literally life-changing knowledge. Like, I don't have to worry about that anymore. It's like, I can weave in ands as I go. This is insanity. I can pick up my floats from the row previously and not even have to worry about twisting my yarns. What the poop? This is so incredible. I love this. I've learned so much this year, and even if it's just those two very life-changing facts, they have saved, both of those things have saved me so much time, so much time. Though I haven't done the picking up the floats yet. Which is unfortunate that I learned about that after I finished all the color work on the sweater. I have many a color work sweater in my future, do not worry. I am going to continue on with my color work journey because I love it dearly. I have divided for the sleeves. Obviously there's a armhole right there. Boop. And I'm very close to finishing the body. I'm really very close to finishing the whole sweater in general. It's just that I need to stop being lazy and wind up the yarn. It's just that the cake of yarn ends up being massively larger than my head, and my ball winder doesn't like that. Because it's like, I was not built for holding cakes of yarn that are this big. I don't like this. It's like, I understand. I wouldn't want to do that either if I was a ball winder. But whatever. I need the yarn. I'm gonna make it work. And I know I could divide them up into 2 different balls because now I can weave in ends as I go, and it really doesn't matter because Stephen West is brilliant and Tristan is brilliant with her color work tip and all of her yarn and just in general. And it's just like, learn so much. Use all these new tools. I'm expanding my knitting toolbox, if you will, which I love. I really love that. So yes, I really want to get this done because I really want to wear it. Like, I don't really... Would it be awesome to have 20 sweaters? Yes. But it's not going to be like, I'm going to do this because I need 20 sweaters. That's not me. That's... No. At this point in the year, with however many weeks we have left, like 2, I don't, like, that thought literally, like, makes me feel tired. So no. I'm gonna enjoy these sweaters, and I'm gonna love every minute of it. And if they get done, they get done. If they don't, that's okay. It's fine. Because I met the goal that I had stated, I don't know, way back in October or September maybe? It got done either way, so. And yes. So that's very exciting. I have, like I said, I have several sweaters. I'm sorry, my hair is clean, but it always, like, doesn't cooperate when it's clean, which is very unfortunate because who doesn't love clean hair? Irrelevant to the podcast. Like I said, I have several sweaters that need to be just worked on just because all of them are so close to being done. Whether it's sleeves, half a sleeves, yeah, you know what I mean, half a sleeve, pockets, a sweater that's knit on big needles and just needs half the body and then the sleeves, which will go so quickly. This just needs, like, I don't know how much more on the body, and these sleeves are so little because this, like, starts down, like, here. So that just leaves... We're having a demonstration here, shall we? So it just leaves from here to here, left of knitting, which, based off of what needle size this is and the yarn that I'm using, that goes so quickly. So quickly. So there's literally, that's all that's standing in the way of me and like 4 more finished sweaters is really laziness. And I'm being honest about that. I have just not gotten it done. And this one in particular is just because I haven't wound up the yarn and I need to. And that's just because I didn't want to, and that's okay. But I really, like, if I want to get it done, I'm gonna have to do that, you know? Like, it's gotta happen. So, this needs to happen. I knit a little bit on this, but it's, like, not really enough to be like, hello, I made progress. I think I knit maybe, like, 10 rows of a sleeve, so, but it's living in this really amazing new project bag, and oh, that was thread belonging from someplace else. So one of our regular customers at the store, she comes in quite often. Her name is Josie, and she's very sweet. And she and her daughter Emily did some kind of swap and somehow ended up with an extra, like, thank you set, I guess, from the swap. that included a project bag and a stitch marker, and she very kindly gifted that to me as a thank you for the help that I've helped her with and just stuff like that. And it was just like, oh my goodness, I love this bag and I love this. Thank you so much. This is so kind. You didn't have to do this. So I have this adorable bag that's just so cute. Like, it's got all this map stuff and it's just it's so well made and it's so cute, and like, look at the inside. Can we even? And then the bag is like this really cool like velvet corduroy type fabric. And came with a little stitch marker and I just love it so much. It's a little car with a tree on it. So the bag was made by Snickerdoodles and Mr. B, and her logo is on the inside of this. And I will link her shop hopefully in the show notes. There we go. Snickerdoodles and Mr. B. So this is the home to my Aldous cardigan. I'm not going to pull it out because there's just kind of a mess in there. Again, I knit literally 10 rows, but I wanted to show this off and I wanted to say thank you again to Josie because this was such a sweet gift. And new favorite bag. Like, this is such a cute little stitch marker. I love it so much. Brings me so much joy. Oh, and it's just such a well-made bag. Drawstring. Love it. So yes, thank you, Josie. Thank you, Emily, for sharing this little gift with me. I really appreciate it. New favorite bag. Pine Top. Ranger Tower. Rainbow Falls. Oh look, there's a little deer. Oh, he's skiing! I didn't notice that. Look at that, he's skiing. That's so cute. I love this bag. So, yes, Aldous needs sleeves. Needs 2 sleeves. That's probably the more intensive sweater that needs to get done just because it's knit on a size 6 and I have 2 sleeves that need to be done. The rest of them are knit either on a bigger needle or closer to being done in general. So, who knows? But you know what? It's really okay. It'll be fine either way. Doesn't matter what I get done. It'll be fine. So, next up, last in my lineup of knitting. So I have made progress on my friend's advent calendar, which was gifted to me by Sharon, the owner of the Modern Skein. Oop. Sorry, I have yarn balls falling out everywhere. And I'm very behind on this, and I've gotten very behind on both of them. I'm just trying to, like, kind of stay on top of things while also doing things like the laundry and the kitty litter and getting groceries and making Christmas cookies, and it's like there's so many things to do. The holiday season. So this is what I have so far, which is much more than what I had last week, so that's good. What is the pattern? The pattern is just something that I'm coming up with. It's a scarf on the bias. It is very thin. I know that, like, it will get a little bit wider, but that was my intention, to have something a little bit thinner. So it'll be a little bit more lightweight and I could wear more likely year-round, which is super cool. So this is awesome. I'm loving all of the Friends themed colors. I'm very behind, and for a while I was posting pictures of the updates, what they were every day, and that was helping me keep them on track of, like, when they were supposed to happen, because I would forget because they're all jumbled up in this bag. Whoopies, that just almost flew in my tea. And I have since stopped doing that because life happens. And now I don't remember what order they're going in, but it'll be okay. I will make it work. So, it will be fine. That is one of them. And this other one is just so much fun, and oh my goodness, it is so much knitting. Really hoping that I'm not going to run out of yarn of this black yarn. But if I do, you know what? I'll make it work. It will be fine. Oh, there we go. So, this is my other advent calendar that my mom and I are doing. She also has the same one. This is the Christmas at Hogwarts Year 3. And I said that way more eloquently than I did last week. This is very long, and let's see, what day? It's the 16th. So I have less than 10 days left. Like, that's kind of encouraging because this thing is getting very long. Granted, I knew that I wanted a long thing, and I knew that this would happen because you just are knitting 30 plus 15 stripes, or no, that sounds way too much. It's 30 rows of one color and 15 of the in-between color. Theoretically every day, but maybe not every day. You might do several of them on one day if you can. Excuse me. So, since I last saw you, I think I had just started this color, which is Buckbeak. It's very beautiful. I also loved getting to show Tristan this. It was super cool, and I was just kind of like, look at this thing that's yours, and I'm making something out of it, and I just really love this. I'm using my Little Bitty Delights little sugar donut as a progress keeper. Excuse me. My throat is very cloggy. So, when I was showing this to Tristan, she was like, oh my goodness, where is Divination? Which is one of the colorways. Divination is my favorite. And she described it, and I was like, oh yeah, I remember opening that. I could not find it anywhere. It could not be found. It was not in my project bag. It was very unfortunate, and I was like, oh no. Didn't lose it. Please don't let me have lost it. So, I've knit this the gray stripe, and I actually went to a Christmas party, a women's Christmas party with our church that evening, and I brought this to work on. So I went ahead and just jumped ahead and did a different color because I knew that Divination was next, but I didn't know where it was. So this is Wolfsbane? I don't remember, but I love this color so much. Like, I would take a sweater out of that for sure. And then I got home, and ta-da, I found Divination. There it is. So it's a little out of order, but that's okay. Then there was this guy, which I don't remember what it's called. Yeah, I don't remember. And then this one is Crookshanks, which I just really love because it's an orange cat or yellow eyes or something like that. So, this is all I have so far. I am behind, most definitely. I am so behind that I haven't even opened the packages since Saturday, I think. Yeah, since Saturday. So I have 6 minis to open on my kitchen table that I haven't done yet. But that's okay. You know what? It's not going to be overwhelming. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. So I have worked quite a lot on this over this past weekend. We had quite the festive holiday event weekend. On Thursday, like I said, I had the Christmas party, but that was Thursday. On Saturday night, we went to go see the Nutcracker with my parents and Sam's parents, and it was super fun. My brother came into town. That was really awesome. And so I got a lot of knitting done because it was a good sitting portion, driving there, getting to enjoy the Nutcracker, all that jazz. I got a lot of knitting done. I think I knit like from here to maybe half of this, and then I finished, and then on Sunday night, so my dad works for Conoco, or ConocoPhillips's, or whatever, Conoco, and they support and sponsor the Houston Symphony. And so every Christmas they do a performance for the Conoco employees, and it's called the Conoco Christmas Party, and it's just so much fun, and I really, really love it. It's a blast. And so that's what we did last night, or on Sunday night, because when you're watching this, it's not Monday, and I got from here to here done. Granted, I'm still not caught up, but I'm getting there. And so this is, okay, here, I don't know how to show this to you, like, in all of its glory, but it's, like, really, truly incredible. So I will be able to wrap this around quite a lot. All the knitwear. This is wonderful. I'm very excited about this. I am using Life in the Long Grass for the in-between stripes. I'm doing around 15 rows. Depending on my yardage, I might need to cut that back. That's okay, because I originally started off doing 30 and 30, which was just way too much. Way too much. And I would for sure run out of yarn for that. So I might cut it down to 10 and see how that goes. So, but that's okay. We have, I know there's math I could do, and I know there's weighing and grams and stuff and all that jazz, but like, I don't have time for that. I'm just gonna change my number slightly and hope that it works. You know, I could weigh it. That would be the smart thing to do, but I'm not going to. No shame. Please don't judge me. You do what you gotta do. So, yes. This is, so it's Dragon Hoard Yarns. It's Tristan and her mom, Christy, who is also Yarn Cafe Creations. And they've done different ones. It's not clear as to who has done what. Tristan mentioned which ones, some of the ones that her mom did, and now I can't remember what they were, but it was a collaboration. So I am very happy with this. I feel like I've done a relatively good job of kind of staying on top of it. But I mean, this color was from Thursday, so that's okay. I've never let it get a week behind on this one, so I feel good about that. This one's for sure getting done before the end of the year, because it is. It will not be it will not be a languishing whip getting done next December. No, no, no. Or next November, excuse me. No, no, no. So yes, that is my advent calendar. It's the, there's a pattern for that one. That's the Litmus Cowl by Amy Florence, or Amy of Stranded Dye Works. It's a really, it's a very basic pattern. It's a free pattern. Really good for scrappy stuff if you want to put a fun palette together from your stash. Really good for gifts because it goes really fast, and I'm sure you could change the weight. It's written for fingering weight, but you could adjust your numbers and your needle size to whatever you wanted it to be. So that is very fun, and that's all the knitting that I've done, I think. Like I said, I could be forgetting something. I feel like I really am forgetting something. I really have no idea what it was. Besides the 10 rows on the Aldous sleeve. Aldous, I don't know. We've been over this. You know that I don't know how to pronounce it. So yes, that is all my knitting. So moving forward, let's see. Let me look at my list. Oh yeah, I have her yarn that I want to talk about. Also, so my mom got me some more Little Bitty Delights Progress Keepers, and she posted the Little Bitty Delights, not my mom. Little Bitty Delights, she posted an update a couple weeks ago and was like, here are some really fun Christmas Progress Keepers. Here's the update. Like, just, here you go. These Progress Keepers are so cute. Like, I can't even. And so there were two in particular that my mom and I really, really loved. But we couldn't, like, I was like, whatever would be easiest, because I was driving home at the time. So my mom was going to do the update, and which can be tricky because cart jacking is a thing. And so I was like, you know what, whichever one you want, just go ahead and get two of them, because that will be easiest. I love them both just as much. I would be very happy with whatever. And it ended up that my mom got both of them and an extra one that I was not expecting. And it's just like, they're so cute. They're so festive. Okay, so this one was the one that I saw on Instagram and was just like, oh my goodness. Yes. So, here it is. It's a little chocolate cookie with all this peppermint goodness, and there's marshmallows, and I'm trying to figure out what's the best way to show this to you. There we go. And it's just so freaking cute. It's so cute. So this is the first one. The second one is this little sugar cookie, and it's just, I love it. It's so festive. So yes, it looks like a little cookie. I love it. And then this third one, which I was not expecting, is this little coffee with this little donut on it that's got like beads and this little sparkly flower snowflake thing. Like, people, can we even? It's just so cute. So, this was such a sweet gift and surprise from my mama of the little extra one, and like, now all the projects can be festive and wintry and just cozy and really wonderful, and I just love it so much. And yes, it's like jewelry for your knitting. Some people are like, why would you even need Progress Keepers? And it's like, you know what? I mean, really, you don't absolutely need them unless the pattern calls for them. But even then, like, it's just fun. It's just fun to decorate your Progress Keepers. And there are just so many incredible makers out there who do such incredible work. And it's like, I just want to support you because you are wonderful and your product is wonderful, and I just love everything about this, and I want them all, please and thank you. So I get to do that, and I'm really excited to be adding to my Little Bitty Delights collection so far. So yes, that is very fun. So next up, I have my yarn acquisitions. Both of these are Dragon Hoard yarns. One of these is her Myth fingering weight, and the other one is her Sprite Bronze Stellina. Everyone, Bronze Stellina is the most beautiful thing ever. Like, I had not seen Bronze Stellina in person until this trunk show, and oh my goodness, be still my heart. The yarn is beautiful. So you have Bronze Stellina, a beautiful base, and then you add her beautiful colors on top of it, and it's like, I can't really say no to that. And I went in and I was like, I had money saved up for it, and I was like, okay, I'm getting this. So, first off, we're going to save the bronze Stelina for last because it's just so beautiful. So this, I believe, is one of her new colors. It's called Reckless Abandon, and it is beautiful. It's very springy, very pastel-y. It is gorgeous. My mom, unfortunately, couldn't come to the trunk show, but she was looking for springy colors, and so this was the skein that she ended up getting, and so we both have a skein of it. Tristan also has a lot of really wonderful patterns, but she has a shawl pattern called Changing Staircases, which is a free pattern, and it uses one skein of fingering weight yarn. So I'd really like to make one of those at some point, and it may be either using that one or this beautiful thing, which has the bronze Stelina in it. I really don't know if you'll be able to tell it or see the bronze Stelina just because it is so subtle, especially with these colors. But like, oh my goodness. So this is called Pop Rocks and Candy Corn. I remember seeing this on her Instagram when she came out with it and immediately being in love with it. Like, saved it to a wish list somewhere on Instagram, and then it happened to be at the trunk show with bronze Stelina, and I was like, oh yes, most definitely, this is happening. So I don't know, I feel like I really want to keep this skein by itself. I know I say that every time, and it doesn't always happen, but like, I also love this. I mean, they actually kind of look fun together. I don't know if I'd actually do that, but that would be very interesting. Like, can we even... her yarn is so beautiful. It is so beautiful. Like, can we even with those speckles? Like, look at that. Come on, don't focus on me. We need to focus on the speckles. The speckles are more important. Like, that's just so beautiful. Like, it's got lime green in there. And like, look at that little bit. I'm excited to see how this winds up into a cake. For sure. But this is just... I feel like if I could be a skein of yarn, I feel like it would be this. I feel like this might be me in a skein of yarn. Plus the bronze Stelina. Can't forget that important aspect of this skein of yarn. It's just so beautiful. Yeah, I just have no words for it. I think it will be absolutely stunning knit up. And I love that it's got these pops of the bright yellow and the orange in there. It's almost kind of like a sunset, like a fall autumnal sunset that's got like all these colors and then like the dark twilighty colors, but it's also Pop Rocks and Candy Corn at the same time, and I'm sure that's where the orange and the yellow comes from, but like it kind of reminds me of a sunset as well. So I love it. I love it. Yeah, this is her label. You can find her on Instagram. And she and her mom have a podcast called The Girls in the Yarn Cafe. That's on YouTube. All of the stuff will be linked in the show notes, so do not fear. You will have access to it. And yes, so that is my yarn acquisitions. No plans for those yarns yet, besides the Changing Staircases, which will happen at some point. I'm just not sure which one or when. But that's okay, because I just really love looking at them, and I will enjoy looking at them for the time being. So that is all the updatey stuff that I have to share with you. I have baking plans. I just haven't done any of them yet. But it's holiday baking. There will be sugar cookies involved. There will be Cyclops or some kind of blossom things. It's the peanut butter cookie with the Hershey's Kiss, which was something that I forgot to get at the grocery store. I'm just now realizing that, but that's okay. I'm not making those quite yet. And then Snickerdoodles. I will be making Snickerdoodles this year as a holiday Christmas cookie because my father-in-law loves Snickerdoodles and we will be spending Christmas with them, and so that would be just a nice thing to bring and so we can have to snack upon. Yes, so that is happening. What else was I going to talk about? Excuse me. It is not time for a nap. It may feel like one, but it is not time for a nap. Not quite yet. So, in regards to my holiday schedule and the podcast, my plan is, so next Monday will be Christmas Eve, and when the podcast would technically go up would be Christmas Day. I will be spending time with family. I will be spending time with friends, and so there will be no podcast next week, and there will also not be a podcast the week after that, just because I want to spend time with friends and family that's coming into town, and just taking advantage of the time that Sam has off and all that jazz. So I do apologize that this is like, hello, goodbye for the rest of the year, but that is what I have planned. But I will be back in the new year sometime. I don't know how that time works out, but I'll figure it out and we'll do something with that. But in the new year, there are things that I want to go over, such as my knitting goals from 2019, my knitting goals for 2020, the sweaters that I knit in 2019 and just showing those off because that's just really awesome, and there are probably some that I've forgotten about, TBH. And there was something else that I wanted to do that was special, kind of like that. Oh, I wanted to go through possibly like my favorite books that I read of 2019. Would that be interesting for you? I don't know. I know this is not like a book podcast, but I just really love books, and there were some that I really, really loved. And recently really loved, if you watched last week's episode. I don't know. Is there anything else? I know last year that I put together like a really cool like cookie making day mini episode, and that was super awesome, and it was just great, but I don't think that I will have time to do that again this year, which I'm very sorry. But I will be back full force in the new year with lots of stuff to show you, because I know that there is yarn for sure underneath our tree. It was funny because, side story, some of our packages, where our packages get left is always a mystery. It can either be dropped off at our door, it can either be put into our like package box in our mail house room thing, or it can be dropped off at the office, the apartment office. So we never really know where exactly it is, but we might have to try all three things. So Sam knew that he had a package at the office, and he went to go pick it up, he went to go pick it up, and there happened to be another box that I had gotten for him for Christmas. And so he picked it up, and no big deal. He said that he didn't look where it was from, and that's fine. I had asked him a question about the certain item that I got him, so he knew that I was probably going to be ordering it. But he was like, I can tell from the box what this is, and I'm very excited about it, but no big deal. Like, I can tell from the box. And I was like, oh. That's a bummer. And he was like, but here, you can feel this package that I have for you, and you will probably be able to tell what it is. So then we're kind of even. So that was very funny, and I felt the package, and it was for sure yarn. We made a joke that it felt like socks. It's not socks, it's definitely yarn. And last year, someone gave us a bottle of wine in this very like fancy container, 4 bottles of wine. And so he packaged all this yarn in this bottled wine gift box thing. And he was very proud of himself because he was like, oh, I finally found we can repurpose this wine bottle gift box thing. And apparently it all fit. He made it work. It's got a bow on it. It's great. But I think it was very entertaining. We had a good laugh about that. So I know that there will be yarn to share with you in the new year. There will be lots of progress, I hope, to be made on all the things. Whether they get done or not, that's okay. We're not going to stress about it. Life is too short for that. It's the holidays. Life is too short to be stressed out about that. Also, I realize that I have not updated anybody on my Christmas crafting and all that jazz. Do not worry, I'm very ahead of my schedule. I'm super, very happy with it. There are some things that still need to be made, but they're very small and they go quickly, and so it's just I'm good. Some of the things that I will be sending off through the mail don't need to get to these people until after Christmas, and so that's nice. So it's not like I need to get it done now, because they won't even be home until after Christmas. So it's all okay. Everything is good. Made a lot of progress. And yes, so I don't know what else to say about that, besides that my Christmas crafting is going very well. I feel very proud of it. And yes, I think I counted, and I need depending on how many dishcloths people are gonna get, I might need to make either 3 more or 5 more, which I for sure have yarn for both of those options, most definitely, if not more. So should be fine. It'll be great. No worries there. And so with that is all that I have to show you guys this week and just to chat about. This feels very final, saying goodbye for the rest of the year, but it's only 2 weeks, so this is not goodbye forever. It's just a little short amount of time, no tears, no nothing, it'll be fine. But since it is the end of the year, I just wanted to say again, thank you so much for everyone who has watched my podcast just this year. If you found me during the middle of the year, however much you've watched my podcast, even if it was just one episode, if it was just this one episode and you're you're not for me, that's fine. I still appreciate that. I have gotten so many such sweet comments and just messages on Instagram, and I've met so many fun people and all that jazz because of the podcast, and I really am very grateful for that, and I feel very honored that I am a part of your knitting podcast life experience, whatever you want to call it. That is, I know there are a lot of podcasts out there. Most of them are way more put together than mine, as I am very rambly and probably talk about the weather way too much. But I feel very honored that I am included in podcasts that you watch and that you watch regularly. I hope you have a wonderful holiday season, whatever you may be celebrating, that you have a safe holiday season as well. If you're traveling, if you're going to go see friends and family, or if you're staying at home. Who knows with the weather, because weather can be dangerous as well. But not if it's 75, because that's just really hot and humid here. But anyway, I hope you have just a fun time enjoying the season with your friends and family, enjoying good food, hopefully getting good crafting in, that you may be able to bake and maybe listen to good books and see old friends, listen to wonderful Christmas music and watch all the Christmas movies and all that fun stuff. Yes. All the regular social media stuff, all the regular show notes stuff, all of that will be in the show notes, so please go look at that if you'd like. If you don't, that's fine. I understand. Yes. Again, this feels very final. It's not like I'm not going to do this anymore. It just is like, wow, this is a lot of pressure to say a lot of things in the last little bit, because I think it's just because it sounds final, like for the rest of the year. It's just 2 weeks. I'll be back in 2 weeks. Or at the beginning of the year, whenever that is. Yes. I think that is all that I have to say. All that I need to show you. If you have any questions about anything that I have said or showed you or whatever, feel free to send me a message. I'd be very happy to help if I can. And yeah, I really have, excuse me, I really just want to do all the crafting this season, and once like all the things that need to get done, after all those things are done, it's just like, yes, I can just work on knitting and I can just enjoy this, and I don't need to worry about a to-do list because I am on a break. It's vacation, no big deal. Bake to our heart's content. It'll be awesome. Enjoy all this time. I have books lined up. I have books that are getting ready to be returned to the library and I need to finish them soon, but that's a totally different story. So yes, I'll be back in the new year with hopefully a lot of stuff to show you. Go over all the knitting goals, old and new, and just so much exciting stuff for the future. I'm really excited about what this year holds for me, for the podcast, for you, for everybody. There's just like the idea of this brand new year of like, what are you going to knit? Like, I don't know. Part of me is overwhelmed by that, if I'm being completely honest. But part of me is also like, ooh, there are so many things out there that I don't know if I have found yet. There's so much stuff that I have saved in like my queue and my library and Ravelry. I have yarn that I want to use, like this. And it's just like, what am I going to pick first? What's going to be the first thing? I don't know. What's going to be the thing in the middle? What's going to be the thing at the end? I have no idea. I'm just excited about the possibility or possibilities to be able to create and make something that I love. And that just makes me very excited and very just like excited. Because I love knitting and I love being creative and I love that so much. Just the possibilities of it bring me a lot of joy and excitement. So, though that doesn't have to do with the holiday season, I hope you have a wonderful holiday season. I hope you had a wonderful weekend and you continue to have a wonderful rest of the year. Merry Christmas, happy holidays, all that jazz. Thank you for being you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for knitting with me. Thank you for folding your laundry with me for that for that fact. I know I have folded the laundry while I've been editing the podcast. I haven't folded the laundry while watching this podcast because once it's edited, I don't really watch it again. Oh, I'm getting a phone call from somebody that I don't know. I think you might be a scam. I'm recording a podcast. This is way more important. I was on a roll. I do apologize. Such is the life. But yes. So, what was I saying? I'm thinking about folding laundry. Oh, whether or not you've folded laundry with me before or whatever. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate that. Again, hope you have a wonderful holiday season and a Merry Christmas. And I will see you in 2020. Bye.